So I was wrong. My bad.
Fix it over here. Don't let him start thinking he's the IT guy around here too. All right, I fixed it. I alone fixed it, Katie.
You get the credit.
Oh my God, producer Katie almost threw up on the air.
We don't talk about
of
our
our morning show. Katie and I have a morning show too, but we don't talk about our other shows on our other shows. So pretend that I didn't say that. But Katie almost threw up on the air this morning. What happened?
On like shoulders, like hunched.
Oh, we got it on Zoom also.
Like,
you can see
the dry heave.
Yes.
We were coming back from a commercial break, and all of a sudden, she just kind of made that move.
Talk. I was like, someone else talk. Someone has to vamp for me because I can't say words.
It's going around though. KJ, you're under the weather also.
No. I see like 6 of you guys right now. I'm just super dizzy. I went to bed like 1 o'clock, woke up at 5 o'clock, did like this Ironman workout because I feel like I'm gaining weight. And when I tell you, like, I'm like seeing stars right now, I'm like, oh shoot.
You might need a protein bar, my man.
I know. I took a terrible milkshake. I don't like chocolate. My wife gave me this protein chocolate milkshake. I took like half of that and a banana. Took a nap. But yeah, it didn't work. So whatever.
It's a low blood sugar situation, Lofa. What do you think? You're a nutrition guy.
Well, I'm just saying, yeah, I haven't been sick in a while, so don't curse me over there. But when I don't mind getting sick, really, because it's a great way to lose weight. Because I don't like to eat or drink when I'm sick, other than water.
Yeah.
So I mean, everything's looking up. And I have my best game of my life with the flu, KJ.
I was going to ask about Michael Jordan has the famous flu game. Did you guys ever play sick? Not hurt, but because you guys play hurt all the time, but, you know, play through injuries. But
2017, we was traveling to Dallas. I ate some lasagna on the airplane going there. As soon as I landed and got to my hotel room, it was coming out of both ends. Throwing up everywhere. I was food poisoning 1-on-1. And got an IV. Dr. Drez, Dr. Drez.
Yep.
Came to my room, pumping IVs in me, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it, guys. But I sucked it up, and I went out there and I balled my ass off. So, hey.
Yeah. Was that the one where you got the pick?
I got a few picks in Dallas. This was the one against Dez Bryant, and got to pick off of Dez, just smacking Zeke left and right.
Wow.
And there's no sick days in the NFL. Suck it up.
Well, what do I do? Well, yeah, how'd your game go?
Yeah, mine was Philly, right? In 2007, the game that people like to bring up when I talk to them. And so the week before, you're right, I was hurt. I tore my oblique. I didn't think I was going to make it. Didn't practice all week. But then they were like, oh, this is the worst strain of flu in the history. You got to get the flu shot. I had never gotten the flu shot in my life prior. So I get the flu shot. I get the fucking flu that Friday.
Well, they give you the flu a little bit. It's in the
flu too.
And and I've told this before, but so me, Leroy, and Julian, our pregame ritual, KJ, was to go to the corner end zone where we warm up and talk shit to the fans to get them going, get us going. So Leroy and Julian over there, and I'm over there like dying, thinking like, oh, I'm not even gonna play, and like I just hear this hard Philly accent. The dude, you ain't gonna fucking play, you pussy. And I was like. I turned around and you know what, motherfucker? I'm playing today. I went into the locker room. I chugged 2 Red Bulls and a half a bottle of DayQuil. And I got my ass out there. And Zarek Rollins came up to me before the game. And I feel like I'm going to faint. And he's like, Michael Jordan had one of the best games of his life when he had the flu. He's like, I'm expecting big things from you. And I'm like, and just like you said, KJ, I was like, buddy, I'm just trying to see straight right now. And I started the game with a pick and ended with a pick. And I had one more for good measure in between the hat trick. But
that's how it works.
There's something to it, though. There's a place you find mentally, KJ. Can you speak to that?
It's like you go to this place like no one, first of all, feels sorry for you. Your boys are depending on you. Your coach is depending on you. You step on this football field, there's no like, oh, he went out there and played sick. No one gives a damn if he played sick. But internally, I feel terrible, so I got to go and survive and do my damn thing. So it's just got to take it to a new level.
It is. It's literally like the most severe fight or flight, and with us, we're just like, oh, it's fucking fight. And it was something just magical about that day, as horrible as I felt. And I was on the couch for like a week straight after that. Like they wouldn't even let me in the facility. They're like, just stay away from us.
You hear that, everybody? Go get your shots. It makes you
No.
man. You play lights out. Time for the show.
Hey.
Take 12 if you want the run uncut. Unapologetic from the jump.
Everybody's rocking out this morning.
This club just dirt from the streets and the clicks in the mud. Take 12. Best podcast for the Seahawks, #1 sports talk. Yeah, we got it on live. Take 12. Every episode, 12 hot takes. And we reppin' for Seattle, my place.
It's the Take 12 podcast. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here, everybody. We are in a good mood this morning. KJ's going to play through it because the Seahawks did not lose this last weekend, as Lofa boldly predicted on his Twitter. They're on a bye. And, you know, the University of Washington Huskies, they were also on a bye. So I had a nice and chill football weekend. I just sit back and relax and got to watch Lofa's Trojans in triple overtime squeak past.
Ooh. Was it Arizona State? No, Arizona.
No, Arizona. I had the sweat of my life against a redshirt freshman that had his second start in the Coliseum.
Woo!
It was, yeah, man.
The whole time that I was watching that, I knew you were living through that, and I was just thinking about how lucky I was to just be relaxing this last football weekend. It felt great. Yeah. KJ, how did Mississippi State do? I honestly didn't see.
We beat up on Western Michigan. You know, just another 42-20 game.
All
Easy
right.
dub. Alabama kicked our ass the week before, but we beat Western Michigan.
Welcome to Take 12, everybody. Our guest on this episode, if you couldn't tell already, is the world-famous KJ Wright, host of the world-famous podcast right now that's blowing up there in Seattle. What, the KJ Wright Experience, the KJ Wright super group. You guys do such a good job with that show, man. Congrats on everything. Tell everybody where they can find it and all that. You and G just crushing it.
Yes, sir. G and I started a podcast, KJ All Day. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify. We drop twice a week. My favorite segment is a KJ's Corner. Like Lofa, I'm a film junkie. And so I really like to explain film and how stuff happened within the game. People just think, oh, he just made a play. No, it doesn't work like that. It was very strategic. Defensive coordinator made a call. They executed it perfectly. And so it's really, really fun. We talk a lot of crap on there. So go check us out.
Yeah, check them out. We were gonna get a similar segment going, but Lofa was gonna break down films like but movies. So like Terminator, Dumb and Dumber, Lofa's, but not game film. The Take 12 podcast, you guys, brought to you by
Wiener Schnitzel.
Take it, producer Katie.
Wiener Schnitzel is delicious. Somebody asked me today, do they just have hot dogs? No, they don't just have hot dogs. No. They have the most delicious hot dogs. You can get them in the chili form or in the corn form, but you can also get burgers and fries and really great ice cream and milkshakes. It's really hot down here in Southern California, and I was craving ice cream yesterday, so I made a little swing through the Wiener Schnitzel and got a tasty freeze. Unfortunately, there's a lot more locations down here than there are up in Washington. But if you are up there, go to Everett, go to Fife, and get yourself a tasty freeze. Mm-hmm. Mention the Take 12 podcast with any purchase and get a free soda.
Yeah. And tell them that KJ Wright, the Fry Daddy, sent you.
You remember?
You remember, yeah.
That was Burger King, though, right?
I don't know. He was working at a Dairy Queen or something, wasn't it? No.
Sonic.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
He told us this story the first time he was ever on the show. So you guys can go back and find that episode of the Take 12 podcast. When it was called
Fry Daddy.
Believe in Seahawks, yeah. I think maybe.
Yeah.
Back in the old days. But KJ's been a friend of the show for quite some time. Happy to have you here. And you guys, without the Seahawks playing, I feel like what we can really do is just look around the rest of the league, talk about all of the football that happened this weekend, because there was a lot of good football out there from college to pros. I figure we'll start in the NFL. We always end up talking about Dion somewhere along the line and get into what's happening in college football, because there's a lot of juicy storylines there. But for you guys, Lofa, let's start with you. As you're watching the NFL on Sunday, which game stood out to you, and where do you want to go first?
Oh man, I go straight to red zone, and especially when the Hawks aren't playing, and I just watch it all. And so it was an amazing Sunday, and
Yeah.
especially when the Rams and the Cardinals, two teams in the West, lose. But what stood out the most, Philly and the Niners, out of all the league, I feel like are in a class of their own, and the Dolphins. Other than that game against the Bills, they are just doing some things schematically that KJ could probably attest to. That I don't know how you catch your breath playing against those guys. I think that's go ahead.
Well, which team is better? So who's the top dog in the NFL right now? Then it's got to be between.
I think it's San Fran.
Yeah,
I think it's San Fran. Philly, they still look great, but coming off the long season they had. I don't know if they're like maybe a little tired. I don't think people have figured them out, but there's something to. I mean, KJ's played in more Super Bowls than I have, and he knows how long that season is. And so it's just you're getting everybody's best shot.
And they just added Randy Gregory. The Niners did, so he'll be there soon. So they just added such a beast at linebacker, which they have beasts at linebacker already. KJ, another beast at linebacker. Talk to us.
Yeah, just talking more about what Love was saying about the Eagles. They haven't quite looked as dominating as the past. Like they're winning, obviously they're 5-0, but that Super Bowl hangover is real. Whether you lose it or whether you win it, it takes you a while to get things figured out. And so they still have the dudes, they got all the fellas there, but they're not dominating like those Niners are. Those dudes are in a league of their own. Just watching them last night, it was like varsity and like 8th grade B team.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah, but it was the Cowboys. The Cowboys are good this year, supposedly.
Yeah, it's like Dak couldn't. It was like he couldn't like anywhere he wanted to throw the ball, anywhere they wanted to run the ball. It was like nope, try again. And those dudes are so fast, so physical. Fred Warner, Drake Greenlaw.
Greenlaw, yeah. I mean, Dak, that one scramble, like it looked like he was going to maybe evade him, but then they're the best at tackling, but then they're also just fast. They're all over the place.
My favorite play of the game was Drake Greenlaw versus Tony Pollard. They threw a little flare out to Tony Pollard. Drake Greenlaw grabbed this dude. He knew he was out of bounds, but he didn't give a damn. He threw this dude on the ground and just got up and took off running. It's like that's that mean, nasty, like dominant type of tackle you want, and that feeds to everybody.
And how hard is it to make an open field tackle like that and like just dominate the guy? I haven't seen many people do that to Tony Pollard, man.
It was clinic. It was open field, open space. He's like, I'm about to take my shot inside out. I'm gonna wrap you up, and there's nothing you could do about it.
In today's game, I'm surprised he didn't get arrested, though. Like it looked like, on the weekend that we said goodbye to Dick Butkus, R.I.P., it looked like an old clip like that where you're watching a guy but in a good way. Like in a throwback way that I crave and I miss, and so I'm glad there was no flag. I'm not advocating for a flag. What I'm saying is when you see something like that nowadays, it does really stand out because you don't see it very often.
And phenomenal job by the referee. Like, keep your damn flag in your pocket. We want to see that. That's football. That is ball. It wasn't malicious. It wasn't super crazy. It wasn't a quarterback. So give him a pass and don't throw the flag.
Yeah. I mean, just watching those two guys play, man, shades of you and Bobby, man. When you guys young, just running around, just wreaking havoc, knocking people out. The check down, do you see how many times they knocked the check down, which KJ was one of the kings of doing it? Or the low crosser route, which KJ's always throwing the little chicken wing. Fry Daddy threw the chicken wing too. And I mean, there's so many shots of KJ versus Miami, Minnesota. I remember every single one. San Fran, actually. I remember you and Hughes got into it a little bit.
Juice man.
Yeah, the juice. But so it's good. It's good football, man.
Well, okay, but listen, this is a Seahawks podcast, and I hate the Niners, so I'm not going to sit here and blow sunshine up their butts all day, okay? Because they haven't played us yet, and we play them twice, and we got some pretty good linebackers over here as well. So for me, I'm just getting more and more excited to see us strap it up against them, and let's get this old rivalry rekindled and going again.
Well, I mean, just take it back to last week for a real quick second. Brooksy and Wags. I mean, combined 30 tackles and 4 sacks.
4 sacks.
So, like, NFC West, man, is just there's so many linebackers. But
Yep.
yeah, I love our guys.
I read a stat that Coach Hurt, he's like top 5 when it comes to blitzing. And so he's sending Bobby, he's sending Jordan, and those dudes are making their plays when they get their name called. And I just did a breakdown on Bobby. He did a beautiful exit stunt. I don't know if you guys know what an exit stunt is, but it's when it was Bobby and there's Chenna. Chenna stunted and hit the guard. Bobby wrapped around tight, got the sack. Bobby blitzed right up the middle. His favorite blitz, what's his favorite blitz? Like Mamba or Mob?
Mob.
Mob, yeah.
Right up the
Mike in the
right up the gut. Yeah, Mike in the B.
And dude's still making plays to this day. So beautiful performance.
Yeah, well, like I said, I can't wait to watch those matchups. I love what the NFL did with the schedule too. It's fun. I mean, I'm nervous for it, but it's fun. Like that's why we all do it, right? Oh man, I'm excited. My son yesterday he said to me while we were watching. He said to me, "Dad, who's a bigger enemy of the Seahawks, the Rams or the Niners?" Because we were watching the Niner game, and he said, "Who are you rooting for?" I said, "Son, it's hard to root for the Cowboys, but I cannot root for the Niners, right?" Like, well, why not? Because recently that hasn't been much of a rivalry, right? And I told him, I said, no, you go back far enough, and this one might be bigger than the Rams-Seahawks one. It's just that one's been a little more prevalent lately. But, man, the Niners, the hate for the Niners is just it boils. So, you got to take that.
So, yeah, it's going to be primetime ball. Thanksgiving, Thursday night. Everybody's watching it, so I'm really interested in this.
I was going to say, that was one of your guys' biggest games on the road to everything that you guys became, was that Thursday night, the Thanksgiving night game against the Niners. I mean, I remember where I was watching that game. I remember how I felt watching that game. I mean, I can only imagine what you guys felt like during that game. And that was, to me, it felt like that was one of the games that you mark on your way to everything that you guys did.
Yeah, that game was cool. Kaepernick, it was like, he was like on the decline, bro. He couldn't hit my door if he wanted to. I'm like, Cap, what are you doing? He was struggling that game, and so we kicked his ass.
Maybe it was the defense he was facing, KJ.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. But go back to those matchups, and like in terms of great linebacker play, you, Bobby, Bruce, Malk, all you guys have all these guys, and over there they got Willis and Bowman. I mean, those were must-watch TV, games, and
What was it like on the field during those games, and especially after those games sometimes? Because Lofa and I will talk about on here, and we don't want to sound like the get off my lawn old men guys, but you see players exchanging jerseys and smiling for pictures. Sometimes it's like a hard fought game, but for you guys, I mean, that rivalry, that is real. It felt real, at least to us as the fans. I mean, what was it like for you guys on the field, and especially like after the game, if it was close and stuff? Were you guys posing and smiling?
No, if you lose, you better not freaking pose or smile and shake hands. But after the game, it's always a handshake. It's like a mutual respect. Like, bro, I've been watching you. Love what you bring to the game. Keep it going. You do it with offensive guys, defensive guys. So it's always a mutual respect when you see a guy that you watched on film, watch him out there on the game. Hey, what's up, man? Keep it going. I like what you bring to the table. And so when you give it, when you receive it, it's always cool.
Okay. But you guys brought a little something extra in those games, didn't you?
We did.
Between the
on the field, but when it's over,
Well, I don't know, KJ. I don't know how you felt, but like for us, it was more personal. Like when we were going against one of the great defense, the Bears of the mid 2000s, Urlacher, Briggs, Hillenmeyer, Pisotino, Samo, the secondary, the D line. They had all these guys, and like we felt like we were not getting our due respect. And statistically, yes, they were in another stratosphere, but I loved playing over there at Soldier Field because of it. And was there anything like that for you and Bobby? Did you guys ever talk about like that? Like that's the real matchup. It's not us versus their offense. It's us versus their linebackers.
You better believe it, because what Coach Norton would do was he would have us watching film on those guys. Yep. We watched film on LeVar Bowman. We watched film on Luke Kuechly, Thomas Davis, Lance Briggs. And so we studied these guys all offseason. And you better believe when we step on the football field, they need to be watching us. They need to be watching how we do things, how we operate. And for those young bucks to come underneath us, like when we want to learn how to play linebacker, we're watching number 50 and number 54. And so we carried that, that pride, that sense of urgency when we step on the football field. Like we got to be the pinnacle of what linebacker play looks like.
Amen, brother.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Let's,
sir. Get me juiced up. Get me
I
juiced
know.
up,
I don't
man.
even know where to go from there.
I'm
I was ready to run through a wall. I know where Katie wants to go. She wants to pay some bills. Go ahead, Katie.
I sure do. Let's take a break. And we're back.
We're back on the show.
Weird shit's popping up on your end. It's all good.
Okay,
No
okay,
judgment over here.
gotcha. The worst part is when the people on the Zoom can't hear what's going on my computer, so it must just look ridiculous. Anyway,
It's really nice. It's really nice that we can make jokes like that. It's really nice that
and be amongst
KJ
friends.
knows us so well
Yes.
after going on the Germany trip with us.
Oh.
It's nice that we became friends.
A nice natural segue to talking about our trips, Katie.
Thank you so much, Brett.
Yeah. KJ Wright, ladies and gentlemen, is the confirmed guest at our event in Dallas on the ground. If you're going to be in Dallas and you want to come out and party like we did in New York City with Matt Hasselbeck and who else? Patrick
I heard
Kearney.
Patrick Kearney came out.
Kearney stopped
was in the
by,
house.
man.
CK.
Coda Beach was there. If you guys
Leroy.
party like that in Dallas this time, we will be there. It's the Thursday night primetime game. It's the week after Thanksgiving. A lot of you Seahawk fans are already planning on going. And if you're looking for an event to go to or a party to come to ours. And if you are looking for accommodations, we have those as well. If you need a hotel, if you want transportation to and from the airport, to and from the game, we've got you covered. Go to take12travel.com and purchase one of our packages. I think you can put a deposit down right
sure
now
can, yeah.
to hold your spot. So you don't even have to pay for the whole thing all the way up front yet. Go to take12travel.com for all the details. And KJ, you're coming with us.
I'll be there. I get there Wednesday. We're partying Wednesday night, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Are we staying
partying
till
every
Friday,
day.
partying again on Friday too? Or are we leaving after that?
Well, if you can figure out where Lofa will be hanging out all weekend, you can party every day.
You just
I'll
gotta
change
get
my name to Love Tea Party all day.
And I was
it's
just in
KJ.
Dallas this past weekend. Dallas is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a
Yeah.
spot.
So
Fun to go.
I
I'm
love
looking
talking
forward to it.
about the beginning of this episode talking about how big you are in Dallas too. Like I'm excited to see the Hawks kind of
What do you mean?
emulate that. Just those big plays that KJ was making. We're talking
What,
about
in
Dallas.
Dallas?
Yeah.
So no, what? Huh?
Yeah.
You know
So
what? The thing about Texas is there's a lot of former ballers that live there also. And these guys know all of them. And if you know our parties, you know that just random NFL players and Seahawk legends will show up. So KJ is confirmed, but we'll have more than
I've
just
got 3 more surprise guests.
are we hanging out at Heater's restaurant?
Oh,
is
you
that where we're
can't.
gonna be?
You can't tell one of the guests.
Oh, cut.
This whole
KJ surprise all day. Thanks, man.
That's not
I
live.
got-
Okay, yeah. So Hawthorne will be there, and then there's 2 more surprise guests that I won't announce until you get there. Kind of like Kearney and Hasselbeck just popped up. You never know
Mhm.
who's going to pop up.
You never know.
Never know.
You never know who's showing up at a Take 12 party. You know who's not enjoying the party this season are a few teams that with some surprise records, I think. So if we're talking about who's doing well, let's talk about who's not doing so well. The Minnesota Vikings come to mind. I think a lot of people thought they'd have a better record than this so far. I'm not really sure what the issue is or anything like that. I really only watch them via Red Zone. But what do you guys see with them and other teams that the Bengals off to a slower start? They got it turned around this weekend, but
And I read that the Vikings offered Justin Jefferson a record-breaking contract before the season started, and he turned it down. I don't know how true that was, but he wants to see
Yeah.
the direction that the team is going. He wants to see what happened with Kirk Cousins this year. Do they bring him back? Do they let him go elsewhere? And so, 1-4 with this type of, I mean, looking at their defense, what do they have over there? What do they have over there, Loaf? Got Harrison.
Harrison Smith.
Got-
That's pretty much the only name I can really. Neil
Got
Hunter's still there.
Daniil Hunter.
yeah.
And so they're okay. From what they did last year, they was
Yeah,
like
it's
12
kinda
wins
like-
last year.
Exactly.
Well, they lost the integral piece of their defense, and Kendricks is really kind of what
Cut 'em.
could signal to the struggles on the defensive side. Offensively, I don't know. I expected more. With Madison, he's a tough running back and very versatile. They added Addison, SC Trojans fight on.
Mhm.
He looks the part, and he's going to get a bigger role. They had KJ Osborne. They got all sorts of weapons. Do they have Hawkinson? Yeah, they got
TJ.
They
Oh, yeah.
signed him, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
they got him and paid him, big money. So it's like they they have the offense, and so I don't know what's going on over there. Especially now Jefferson just got kind of dinged up. I know he didn't finish the game, so it's only going to get tougher. But I got to believe they'll get it turned around. I'm more concerned with the New England Patriots right now.
That was next on my list. You read
Right?
my mind. The very next thing I was going to say is what's going on in New England. They lost to New Orleans 34-0. New Orleans has a really good defense, but 34-0. These are not your dad's New England Patriots or my. I'm a dad now. These aren't my New England Patriots. What the hell's going on in New England?
Yeah, I don't know. They've had some coaching changes. Brought back Billy O'Brien, who's a great offensive mind. So expecting more than what we saw out of Mac Jones last year, right? And he's really struggled to. I don't know if they have a marquee guy out there, at receiver for him. I do like Bourne. Both tight ends are good. And then Juju's there, but at this point in his career, I think he's probably more of a 2, right? See, even KJ agrees. And so they do have Ramondre Stevenson. Love watching him run the ball, and I think that's what they need to lean on, even just to get the defense not tired, because the defense was on the field all day.
Yeah.
And Bill's always, even last year, Bill had a great defense that saved them, in a lot of games. But coming off of 2 straight losses, one by 35 points, the largest margin he's ever lost by in the history of coaching of his career, and then followed up with a 34-0, at home.
But
New Orleans came in there.
Here's the thing. I just look at how they structure and design this team, right? The way they drafted, the way they brought in free agents, nothing has worked. You drafted the center years ago in the first round, caught everybody by surprise. Like you said, you bring in Juju. They have no identity on offense. It's what's going on here? And you never want to question Bill Belichick. Obviously, he's the GOAT. But man, everybody has an expiration date in this league. Players, coaches,
sort of the beginning,
GMs.
Of the Bill Belichick era. I mean, it's one of the greatest, obviously the greatest, probably coaching runs of all time.
I personally don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. I'm looking where can it come from? Where can success come from? I don't personally see it. For sure not this year, but in the foreseeable future. And I'm where will it come from?
Yeah.
And so rebuilding is okay. Blow up and rebuilding is okay.
Do you think Bill's a part of that?
He can't be.
Right.
He can't be.
And here's why I kind of agree with KJ is there's been a culture change in the NFL ever since the lockout. And when we went with the youth movement, the hard-nosed, tough coaching, a lot of guys they're not used to and probably don't respond well to anymore. And so I can agree with KJ in that sentiment that, maybe it is, and it's been an amazing career. I'm not ready to count him out.
Right.
Because there's still 3 quarters left of the season. And we all know that the first quarter doesn't really mean shit. But
you win in the first quarter.
No, you cannot.
So Loaf, where will their success come from? What could they hang their hat on to say, hey, we're going to get this thing turned around? Is it the scheme? Is it the defense? Is it Mac Jones?
I think if they have another tough game, just, flat out nothing going on offense, they're going to make a change to Zappy, who I don't know if you heard about this blunder, but I was looking up ZA in a fantasy draft, and the time was ticking off, and I didn't realize it. So I type in ZA, and the computer auto-picked Bailey fucking Zappi instead of Zay Flowers. And Bailey Zappi wasn't even on a team at the time because the Patriots had cut him and put him on the practice squad.
Yeah.
So if you want to talk about real blunders, that happened. And,
he's a steal. He's a steal. You just don't know it yet.
Well, I cut him because he wasn't on a team, but now someone else picked him up because they're seeing what's going on. So, yeah, he's going to be a steal for somebody because he did. He came in and played well last year in relief in a couple games. And maybe just Mac needs to change the scenery because it's done well. Look at Baker Mayfield. He's doing well down there.
Yeah.
A couple 300-yard games. And I think, and I think just to change the scenery, but then also getting out of the spotlight, getting away from the noise. all the commercials and all that stuff. I think he's really just focused on ball right now, and Baker's showing us what he can do.
Well, speaking of changing of the guard or older coaches, go ahead.
Well,
Wait, Katie's got. Go ahead. No,
I was
go ahead.
going to say, speaking of changing the scenery, if
No, go
anybody
ahead.
needs a change of scenery, they should use Delta Airlines to get to a new location.
She's really taking them all from me. I love it, though. Go for it. Give people the information.
Delta Airlines is a proud sponsor of the Take 12 podcast. You should sign up for 12 status if you haven't yet, because you're missing out on miles on Delta. It's like literally free. If you live in Washington, go to 12status.com. Make sure you get, is it for all the rushing yards?
No, you get one
passing yards
for every passing yards through the air, Katie. They're an airline. Yeah.
Making the connection now.
Car company that's doing that for rushing yards.
They should.
Yeah, come on, Enterprise.
Delta Airlines 12 status. Go check them out. Also, Lofa, you just did a thing with the beer with Delta, didn't you?
Oh yeah, the Sky Club. I don't know if you guys know about it, but it is phenomenal. And we went in there and I was just serving up 51 Savage. So KJ, I got my own beer. I don't know if you've heard. And it's with Savage Brewing Company. And so just been serving people beer at 11 a.m.
The Sky Club at Delta, or the Delta Sky Club at SeaTac has 51 Savage.
It's on tap. It's in can.
So, Lofa, are you like the heavy beer? Or are you like the smooth, like, I want to sip on this a little bit? You're smooth guy? Okay.
It's a Pilsner. You know, back in my young days, I was the IPA guy. You know, I took it there. And you know, now I'm on the other side of the hill.
Less calories.
Yeah, exactly.
He's trying to lean out. We're not trying to bulk up anymore. You know, you got to grab the pills. It's nice and light, keeps you shredded and all that. And if you drink too many of them, you'll see stars, like KJ after his workout today. Well, hey, to another older coach though in a new place, Sean Payton. It's not going well in Denver, and the team's not doing great. And talk about it no matter what. Did you guys watch the Broncos and the Jets and how that thing ended up? And it's not going well. And I don't know if they're yelling at each other on the sideline, but they definitely had a little exchange yesterday on their way past each other.
Yeah, there's nothing like watching a coach yell at a player, but the player keeps walking like, I'm not trying to hear this, shut the hell up. And he definitely gave him an earful. Don't know what he said. This was when Russ fumbled, right?
Yeah.
This when Russ fumbled. And like you said earlier, Lofa, like this way of coaching, this style, he's like a Bill Parcells guy. He's a hard-nosed cat, like calling players out.
Shit. I love that shit. I love the accountability and like the fucking discipline. That's what like Holmgren always preached.
What do you think he said after that fumble? What was he saying?
You know,
I'll let you take that one, Lofa.
Yeah, nah, motherfucker. I'm not taking that one. There's some things you just don't talk about. But I mean, you know, like I grew up in that era where it was just, you know, hey, you know, what the fuck are you doing? You know, that's literally how we were coached, you know, even from the time I was a kid. And my dad coached me, and you know, he's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And just getting after you. And it's just like, but I mean, I don't know if, it's just a different day and age. And so, you know.
Yeah, but Russ has been in the league for, 10 years now? It's not like he's a first-year player and is part of this youth movement. I mean, he's been here for a bit. He's had hard coaches. It's not as if Pete's the most easygoing guy in the world if you mess up, is he? I mean, come on.
I don't think Pete or any coach has ever gotten on Russell like this. Like,
Russ, Coach Carroll is not an MFer. He's not that's not his style at all. Right. And it's not his offensive coordinator style either.
Oh, okay.
Far from it. So this is something that's new to him. It's like when I went to the Raiders, going from Coach Carroll to John Gruden. I was like, oh, okay, it's different. Like there's people you get talked to differently here. And so I saw the other side and how you held accountable at a new level. How people just are direct and blunt. It's like okay, it's like okay, let me get my shit together. So it is different when you receive that type of coaching.
Is it motivating? Is that going to motivate him? Or
yeah,
is he
how's
so
this
used
all going
to
to
the
turn
other
out?
style?
Well, so that's the tough part is, you know, no one needs motivation at this level. You're a pro, you know, but some probably can't handle that type of coaching. Like there's, you know, I coach kids right now, and like you could never like talk to kids the way we were talked to when we were kids. Like it's just
I try. I try.
But I'm saying,
dude, I try. It doesn't work.
But the approach is different because all they hear, as soon as they hear, what the fuck or anything negative, they shut off and they shut down. Just like, down. And so now any valid point you're making to help them get better, they're not listening to that shit's going over their head. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Like they're just, their self-worth is brought down. And so, Russell's a guy that he thrives off positivity, no matter how bad the situation is. And so, I think that support's got to come from somewhere, and
well, it doesn't. And can these? Then is this team big enough for the two of them then? Because how can they coexist? It seems like Sean things. Russ doesn't like that way of doing things. Push is going to have to come to shove sooner or later, and Sean Payton's not the one who went out and got Russ.
That's true, but I think contractually, I think they're kind of in a tough situation.
Yeah, and statistically, I believe Russ is top 5 when it comes to passing. Like he's doing some decent things.
Yeah.
And so my question is, if you do let him go, what do you bring in? Do you bring another big time quarterback? Do you just start from Stidham? Is it Jared Stidham?
Yeah, I think so.
And so it's like the question is, where do you go if you let him go?
If the record keeps going the way it's going, they'll have Caleb Williams.
But what I saw, from my perspective was when they got into the hurry up, because Sean Payton, everybody he's made a better quarterback out of. So I believe this is just kind of like new territory for both of them. They're learning each other and how to, work together. But when they got in the hurry up, Russ was getting that ball out quick, making good decisions. And I wouldn't be surprised if they start implementing some more hurry up offense, just to get the rhythm, because that's the only time, those last 2 drives, it's the only time I saw real rhythm throughout the game from either side, either team. Because the Jets, it was an ugly game to watch. I mean, I like it because I like defense, but, I think that's what could change for them, KJ, when you've asked me on these other teams, what could change? Where can they find somewhere to go? Tempo. I think they could do more tempo, up tempo, and go and keep defenses on their heels instead of just letting them just pin their ears back and rush.
Mm-hmm. And so, hey, it's like you said, we're week 5. They got 12 more games. Got to get it figured out sooner rather than later. And so they play Thursday night versus the Chiefs. So they're going to be 1-6. So get it figured out after you play the Chiefs.
Find out what happens. Well,
you don't know any given Thursday.
Yeah, because look what the Bears did. I mean, the Bears were just like doing nothing. They had no pulse, and then they come out on Thursday and put up like 40 points or something, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
The Commanders.
Katie, a read for us?
Go for it.
I
want to talk about Epic Seats.
Absolutely.
Epic Seats. Maybe Michael Penix Jr. had a little nice off week this last weekend. Maybe he went to go see a show or two.
Yeah.
And he, used his sponsor also, is our sponsor also, Epic Seats. Go to epicseats.com. And you get $12 off.
Katie knows that Michael Penix Jr. is in an Epic Seats ad, and she knows that Michael Penix must play football in and around Seattle somewhere. So she has decided to include him in the read. I'm just translating her.
I saw the commercial. It was great. It was very quick. I think it was like 10 seconds.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Washington's
The
future
kid does it all.
winning left-handed quarterback. Hell yeah.
Here we go.
Go to epicseats.com, mention the Take 12 podcast, and you will get $12 off any purchase of $100 or more. Mm-hmm. And if you sell your tickets to anything, they'll give you a $12 bonus per ticket.
Yeah, so support epicseats.com and support the next starting quarterback for the Denver Broncos, Michael Penix Jr.
Or Guns N' Roses, who's coming to town.
Oh, check it out, everybody. Take 12. Mention Take 12 at epicseats.com. You guys, speaking of college ball, I mean, it's fun this year, man. The Pac-12 is going out with a real bang, Lofa. These games are fun. The talent is high. The football is great. I mean, the poor Pac-12, man. But
the Pac-2 now. It's the Pac-2.
Pac-2. The Pac-2. They even released, I think Washington at least, they released next year's sort of Big Ten opponents. I don't think the actual schedule's out, but they released who they're going to play, and the whole world is turned upside down over there in college football. But it's entertaining to watch. Other than the USC game, Lofa, did anything stick out to you this weekend, or you want to talk about USC the whole time?
I mean, yeah. I'm scared to death for next week. Let's just put it that way. For our matchup, we go to Notre Dame, who just got destroyed by Louisville.
Yeah.
We're coming off an emotional, gut wrenching, pull it out, slobber knocker, as Brett likes to call it.
Yeah.
And the most important thing is we found a way to win.
No defense.
Hey, we found a way to win, and that's the most important thing. But I think it sets up. It's very dangerous to for a rivalry game to with these two elements coming together. We better have our shit together, boys, or we're gonna get our asses handed to us in South Bend.
Well, a lot of teams lost this weekend. Texas went down to Oklahoma.
I watched that.
Notre Dame lost, like you said.
Yeah.
There was two
I was
others.
at that game. I was at the Texas OU game. That's why I went to Dallas.
What?
Oh,
What?
So
wow.
I was
You didn't
there,
take me?
and not it. But man, that first of all, the Dallas State. You guys went to the Texas State Fair, but the Texas State Fair was right there, and the stadium is in the middle of the fair. So
wow.
it was like so much going on, hundreds of thousands of fans, food everywhere, Southern football, middle fingers everywhere. And so it was a really, really fun game. And it came down to the last wire. Oklahoma drove it with a touchdown.
Texas takes the lead. Oklahoma, and that quarterback, he's the real deal. He gets the ball, goes 75 yards. He has a minute 15, no timeouts, and just go ahead, KJ. What?
Lofa, where is this quarterback from? Is this a kid from Central Florida?
I believe this was a UCLA commit. I think he's a young guy.
He's a young cat? Okay.
That last second when Riley went to SC or Caleb went, with Riley to Oklahoma, I think Venables or whoever's at Oklahoma was like, hey, man, like competition's wide open over here.
Mm-hmm.
And so he flipped on signing day over to Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
And,
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
I like him.
But dude, I mean, he showed incredible poise for, being down, no timeout, 75 yards in a minute 15. And it was just first down, touchdown. And you could see everybody on the Texas sideline like, holy shit, that just happened.
Yeah.
But it kind of bothered me a little bit was when everybody on Oklahoma was just over there hugging and shit, and there's still 15 seconds because, Sark coached me at SC, and he's the Texas head coach, and he was over there getting his players together, kind of like Pete does. Hey, this is what we're going to do. And they were within a Hail Mary attempt. And so I was actually anything can happen. I was kind of hoping. I was like, you know what? Because they just kept showing them hugging. And I was like,
the Miami Hurricanes. Anything can happen, even when you decide to run the football.
KJ, did you
That's
see
a
that?
fireable offense.
The whole staff, everybody, fire the people that answer the phones at the university. Fire everybody.
My heart broke for them.
I can't put into words how.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about, Miami had the ball. Georgia Tech had no timeouts. All Miami had to do was put a knee on it. Maybe there would have been a few extra seconds if they had to punt it or something. It would have maybe not been able to fully run the clock out, but they should have been putting a knee on it. They ran the ball. They fumbled it. Georgia Tech got it and won at the buzzer. And it was just the Miami players on the sidelines were even just sort of going, what are we doing?
They could have taken a knee. Yeah, I saw that the player saying, "What the fuck are we doing?" But they could have just kneeled on it, and that's what was so crazy. But give some credit to Georgia Tech, who had 26 seconds, had to go 70 yards.
Yeah,
that quarterback made two insane plays.
Not a passing team. Georgia Tech is just running like a wing T or something out there. But there you go.
And how did he get past? I didn't say how did they get past the dude for the touchdown? Like, how's this dude wide ass open right now? And so just
the quarterback
a complete meltdown.
This dude came from all the way across the field, and there was like three defenders like 10 yards short of him. So like I couldn't fathom the whole thing that happened.
Yeah, it's weird. And the announcers as the play is happening are going, they shouldn't be doing this. What are they doing?
That was the other point. Was he's like, no, they can actually just take a knee. Like, just what are you doing? And they still went through with it. And then the announcers were joking after. They're like, well, there's only 26 seconds. They haven't moved the ball all day. Choop choop. Touchdown.
Anything can happen, man. College football's been fun. Oh, in Seattle this weekend, it'll get even more fun because Game Day has announced they're going to be on Montlake for the big showdown versus with UW and Oregon and all that. So
I'll be
Oregon's
there.
gonna pepper you guys. Are
what's
you?
that? What'd you just say? Excuse me.
Oregon is gonna pepper you guys. Are you
Get
kidding
this-
me?
Go ahead. Let's get it on the record. Go for it.
Yeah, on the
it.
record. Are you-
Fine. Go.
Oregon's the most well-balanced team in the pack. They are going to pepper you guys.
Okay.
Yes.
Pepper. Okay. Give me a final score, big guy.
14, maybe 21 points. Yeah. Like,
Penix was up 14 points.
no,
That's it?
no, you guys lose by
Oh,
14 or
okay.
21.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh, well.
you might score 20 or 30. They'll put 50 up. They'll put 50 up.
I just want to see a
They
good
are
game.
stacked.
I don't care who wins.
I'm gonna write this down. You're saying Oregon's gonna put up 50 on Washington?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing it down. All right.
Vote Knicks,
ahead.
baby.
Yeah, dude, that
All right.
just wait.
Okay. All right.
Love,
How
come
many-
with me, man.
how
What are
many
you
is
doing?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you have an extra ticket?
I'll find one. Let me look.
Wait, what time's that game?
That's gonna
It's
be a
12:30.
hot game.
Oh, it's early. Yeah, well, I think I got Guns N' Roses that
All
night.
right,
That's
here
how.
we go. Let's
Oh,
send
sorry.
We're
Epic
back.
Seats. Hey, I got a guy. Jimmy Seats. Epic Seats. Nobody beats Epic Seats.
If
But
you,
wait, before we get
if you are
before we
looking,
get out of here,
yeah, that's where to go. Yeah, go ahead.
before we get out, KJ, what? I haven't forgotten. Where did you want to take it? Did we hit the point that you wanted to hit? You wanted to
making
talk?
Oh,
that joke.
we took it to New England. I want to talk Bill Belichick.
We took it.
Yeah,
We took
we took it to New England. We had to talk about that. Like 0 points and like 3 points the previous week. Quarterback
3 points
gets
in 8
benched
quarters.
back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
you know what I've been trying to ask
we'll see.
KJ all episode is
all day.
what I've been waiting to ask KJ all day. The Fitzgerald, the Larry Fitz jersey behind you
Ooh.
on your wall.
Yeah.
It isn't that's Larry
Yeah.
Fitzgerald's jersey, right? I can't see the name, but it's number 11. I
Oh,
can
yeah.
tell it's yeah.
Oh yeah, there's only
Did
one 11
Right,
in
you
red.
an on there.
No, so there's more
What?
that have a lot
There's
of words.
like a whole chapter of a book written on that jersey.
Yeah, you mean to read it to you?
What's it say?
Yeah. What?
All right,
does-
my computer's about to die.
Okay, not you, but the computer.
Wow,
Just a
Incredible.
class act.
that's cool. Come back on the next episode when KJ will read his other jerseys on the wall. Every single one of them has an essay on there. That's awesome. Oh man, KJ, thank you so
We love
much
you,
for
buddy.
stopping
Thank
by.
you.
Thanks for being a friend
Can't
of
wait
the
for
show.
Dallas.
His computer might have died. Oh, he's still there vocally at least. You guys can find KJ on the KJ All Day podcast. He's got anywhere you find podcasts. Smash that subscribe button. Give him a listen. It's awesome. And I mean, I enjoy it. I know you guys enjoy it. Lofa, hands in the middle. Break us down. I don't have KJ's video, so we're not sure if he's there or not. You handle it.
KJ, what you want to go with?
He's
I think
got-
he's. We can hear you. We just can't see you.
We just can't see you.
Okay.
Wait,
Are you
guys
going to count down? Kick the Bengals' ass.